Hey, sixth grade. Happy this will be Tuesday. I'm filming this actually Friday afternoon before the long weekend, and we're switching up our pod days just a little bit, but this is for you guys. So let's jump right into pod and talk about, first off, parent teacher conferences are coming up very soon in just a couple weeks. And so I know that's kind of on your parents to get here, but when you're teachers, your homeroom teachers, try to schedule those, which they're doing right now. Don't try to avoid those. Okay, those are important meetings that your voice is a part of. And it's just the people who are love and care about you at home, and the people that care about you here at school, and sometimes love you for sure. We don't mind saying it. They want to compare notes on how to best serve your needs. So let's try to make sure that we get to those. That means you'll also, at conference time coming up soon, have a chance to do our trimester surveys that we always do. We always like that data. When you see those, don't forget to be honest and answer those truthfully. All right. Some notes on the Tuesday Tunes, or Tuesday, as Evan Munden said I should call it. I think it was Evan. Great job on your first week. It took me some time to figure out the best way to do that for now, but I think we solved it in terms of the audio. Your playlist is good, but I need some more songs. I told your student council members that we could have 7 or 8, but we could probably end up with at least 10, just because we have 5-minute passings and 3-minute songs. So give me a few more songs. If you want to change it up, you can. Yours will be in a few more weeks. And today we'll be rocking out the 7th grade tune. So, and don't forget, it's okay to dance in the hallways a little bit. I need to do a little bit of that too. I was kind of busy on last Tuesday. Lockdown drills. So we actually had in the same week lockdown and a safety person that only comes here every 4 years in the building last week. And we had some good discussions. We're going to be talking about some things that we might change moving forward. But what I want you to know about lockdowns in specific, or in particular, and hall checks or whatever we may be doing, never ever assume that it's just a drill. Okay. And even if you assume it's just a drill, go through the motions for us, because we're not trying to freak anybody out, but we had some problems specifically in the 6th grade of kids being very loud. And it was a little embarrassing for us as a school, because we have some law enforcement officers that said we went to a classroom and we could hear them right around the corner. Okay, so take those things seriously, keep everybody safe, and we don't do them all the time. I actually do them a bit less than some principals, because I don't want you to get bored with them. But when they do happen, whether it's an evacuation, whatever it may be, do your part to follow the proper procedures, okay? And that lockdown specifically, lights should be closed or closed, doors should be locked, lights should be off, and you are away from the door, being as quiet as you can. If you happen to get stuck in the bathroom, now if you can get out of there, great. But if you see open or closed doors and you can't get in there, you can hide in the stall, but that doesn't mean you should do that. Okay, we want to avoid anybody in the bathroom if we can. And if you end up in the bathroom, I'm gonna be suspicious, because you may have been messing around. Okay, so if you hear it, get to a classroom quick as you can. And follow what your teacher says. Speaking of safety, so the safety czar gave this to Mrs. Bollinger. Certainly, if you see some of these things, bullying at school, any level of violence or harassment, any harm or possible drug use, come directly to that trusted adult we just identified during our Sources of Strength campaign. But for whatever reason, you may feel a little bit uncomfortable being the one that gives that information. Who knows why? I hope that you don't feel uncomfortable and you trust us to come with that. But if you don't, that's okay. We do have an anonymous tip reporting situation. So you can get an app, you can go online, you can use a call, and I think that use a phone, and get that message. I think somehow it'll get flagged. It'll say your school, and they'll get the message to us, but we'll never know who it came from. Okay, it's nothing to joke around about. But if you think, oh, I see this, I don't know how to tell the school, here's a way to do it. All right. Congratulations to these superstar students of the week from last week, including for ELA and language. Chloe Gwynn was holding it down, doing a good job. Putting in some good math work. Kaylee Nybar, good job. Being a scientist and doing some experiments and doing great. Haley Welsh, learning about our country and our world and the 5 themes of geography and doing a great job. Jade Alvarez. So congratulations to all those students. Great job. And you guys deserve a pat on the back. A soft one. Don't hit anybody. So to today's lesson, we are in the middle of talking about our 6th habit out of 7. You guys are doing good. This year's going fast. Okay, so we're right in the middle of synergy. And as a review, remember, this is kind of the end goal of working with other people. First, you have to think win-win. Say that it's not about me and you. We can work together to make the best thing that we can, and see them as a valuable person. Okay, we can both win. Hence, think win-win. Listen first, talk second, or seek first to understand and then to be understood, which means that to really collaborate with that person and think win-win, you're going to have to be quiet for a second and hear what they have to say. Synergy is about putting it all together. Okay, last week we talked about how synergy might relate to dun, 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 dating, which you guys are too young for. And I don't know why I'm singing, because it's Friday afternoon and I wish I could see you guys in person, but it's just a video. And synergy and being on the same page and collaborating, it should be at the heart of dating. And this talks about teen dating, which y'all aren't even teens yet. So I would just remind you, a little early as 11 and 12-year-olds. But eventually it's going to be something that you should participate in, certainly. Okay? But it should always be casual and fun. Okay? This is not life or death. This is not long-term relationships as 12-year-olds. Okay, I always tell the story of the basketball player I had who said, she was feeling really down and I don't know what to do without my boyfriend. And they'd only been dating a couple of weeks. And I said, well, just do what you did 15 days ago. You'll probably be fine, right? But things can feel so emotional at the time, but they don't need to be. But if you start feeling pressure to do things you don't want to do, you feel like that person wants to control you, you are scared in any way, that's not worth it. Okay. Get out of that. Steer clear from that person. That's not a relationship. Should always be a two-way street. No one's in control. No one gets their way all the time. It's true collaboration. All right. And I also encourage you, keep your darn parents in the loop. All right. I sure hope my daughter does, because I'm going to try to lock her up for a few years, not let her date. But if you're hiding the fact that you're dating a certain person or whatever you are doing on your dates, why? Why are you hiding that? That must be something wrong with your choices. So keep them in the loop, and hopefully you can find some synergy and some fun as you get a little older, move towards high school, and get ready to date. All right? So we have a 2-part lesson today. There's a lot to it, so I have to go fast. But the first one is about barriers or things that could prevent you from truly achieving synergy. Quick review. Okay, remember, these guys help each other in this formation I used to have a stat somewhere about that. I think I showed to you before that they fly that much faster and farther due to that formation when they're helping each other. Synergy is the idea that 1 + 1 can actually equal 3 if you find the best of both worlds and then come up with a better option. It's not just compromise. It's saying we got a team, we got a band, we got a group of friends. How can we put our minds together to come up with the very best solution or product? What's some things that could get in the way of that? These are actually barriers, I think, not to contradict the author of this book, but this goes back to your paradigm, your mindset, your ability to think win-win. So you could have some ignorance about people. If you're placed on a team with them and you want to achieve synergy, if you are clueless about their culture and their race, their religion, a disability they may have, their gender identity or sexual orientation, and you just don't know anything about it, that's called ignorance, okay? And sometimes that's okay. Based on your upbringing, you may not be familiar with certain types of people. Okay? You may not be, if you move to a different part of the country, that would open things up. So ignorance is when you're young and you're maybe not informed. It's not the worst thing, but it's what you do when you're presented with new people or new information. Do you put your head in the sand like these jokesters over here and you're like, I don't want to know about any of that? Or do you open yourself up to what they may bring to your group? Okay, because they're different than you, and that's a good thing because they can bring a perspective that you may not have. So you can become willfully ignorant, which is a bad thing, which means older people are saying, I know that there's all these people around, but I'm not listening to them. I don't want to know. Okay, so ignorance can be, whether it's the innocent part or the willful part, a barrier, a wall to synergy. This handsome gentleman there, who is that? I can't tell who that is. Is that Hunter Gregg? Oh, I can't tell. So prejudice could be a part of a barrier to synergy. I wish that we were in person for this part because I like asking people questions. And I think we maybe have done a little bit about stereotyping. I don't know about your grade. So you see this gentleman here, and someone told me he's actually from some TV show. You may assume certain things about him, okay? Athlete, football player. Okay? Sometimes that stereotype is mean, possibly not very smart. But I know that as a former football player, that's not how all of them are. Okay, so stereotyping is actually the foundation of prejudice and hate and discrimination. Although we're all created equal, Sean Covey, the author of this book, says we're not all treated equally. This is a fact of life, but it's also true that prejudice has to be taught. After all, no children are prejudiced. I like that. Okay. You learn it over time. No 2-year-old saying, oh, look at this person, look at that person. So the moment that you say in your brain, all whatever are like this, all girls, all boys, all people with glasses, whatever, you're eliminating their individuality, which is very dangerous. And you start putting in people in these large clusters that you think you know about. Okay. And I accidentally hit that. Sorry. And probably one of my pet peeves. So please enjoy that or avoid that, excuse me, because if you really are stereotyping and discriminating against that person, it's going to be really, really hard to come to the table and achieve synergy with them. Cliques are a phenomenon kind of unique to schools. They sometimes happen with adults in workplaces, but this is a group of friends, which is good to have a group of friends. But when there start to be rules about how you get into that group or how you stay into it, it can transform into something else. It limits your individuality, who you are as a person. Okay. Groups can be fun. Okay. I have a 6th grade friend group. Shout out to my donut crew people, but we still get to be us, right? You don't have to be just all in the group. Here's a little clip. Let's see if it plays from a certain movie. Maybe you've seen it.
Okay, you should just know that we don't do this a lot, so this is like a really huge deal. We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week. Oh, it's okay. Coolness. So we'll see you tomorrow. On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Okay, from a movie called Mean Girls, which is getting pretty old, but it is both a little funny, maybe slightly inappropriate for you guys, but also has some good messages and shows you what a clique can do and damage people. Okay, so I would watch out for that. It's all fun and games to have a group, and that's fine. But like I said, if you say, "Oh, we can only wear these sort of clothes," or wear pink on whatever she said Thursdays or something, and you don't get to be yourself. Watch out for that. And we've seen that once you get into a group, people start acting and dressing a certain way. So it's good to have your friends, but make sure you get to still be you, because cliques are really kind of heading towards almost like gang-like activity. And I don't know that we have certain ones here, but if you ever feel like I have to do this to maintain their friendship, it's kind of like that dating thing we talked about. It shouldn't be based on pressure. Friends should be sources of fun and support. Speaking of support, it says review, and maybe you guys have got this at different schools, and I'm going to go a little bit fast through this. I don't know why I combine these into two. I think because all the other grades have got this from me before. So you, and I know from my wife and other people, have got lessons on bullying for many years now. And you know that it has to be on purpose. It needs to probably be repetitive. Even a really bad one-time event is likely more like assault or something, not necessarily bullying. It's aggressive, and it is also maybe an imbalance of power is present. So the kid is older than you, or there's 2 people on one, or they're physically stronger. Okay, it's not they bumped into me in the hallway, they were a little mean to me that day. That's a progression, but we get towards bullying. Okay, even the rudeness and meanness are not okay, but we want to be clear about what bullying is. Do me a favor. I may have not told this grade before. Please don't overuse the word bully or bullying. I don't love when I go through the hallway and they're just joking, but they say, he's bullying me. It's a serious thing that we try to stamp out at our school. So making light of it and saying, my friend, if you're laughing with your friend and they're clearly not bullying you. I know you don't mean it that way, but just say he's being mean or something to joke around. Okay. So let's talk about the roles of a bullying situation. Oh, geez. I thought there was like arrows and stuff, guys. How embarrassing. So I don't know. I think the reason why these circles are a little bit different, and this is what I hate sometimes about that bully word, is it creates this like dynamic here. You're either the bully or the victim. Most student conflicts are a little bit of everything, that this person may have some fault. But true bullying, this person is the victim. They've been targeted. They can't do anything about it, and they did nothing to deserve it. So you have the victim, the bully. Maybe there's one person here and 2 here, or a slightly stronger, older person. Then you have this big circle of people who see it. Some bullying does take place in secret, but if it's at school, someone's aware of it. If it's online and it's cyberbullying, someone's probably aware of it. So I don't want to talk to this person or this person right now, even though if you are the victim, I feel for you. Please let us know, or use that anonymous tip to let us know. But let's talk about witnesses. Okay. So when you see that kid walk by and they keep saying, hey, look at that kid's hair, they keep after them, they maybe make contact with them in some way, they keep writing derogatory posts on some social media. You could be a bystander as a witness. That's the easy route. We say, I didn't do anything, I was just here. Okay. I've had that with fights and stuff before. I didn't do anything, I'm just a spectator. You're right, you didn't do anything. Okay. You didn't even walk away. You just witnessed somebody in our school family being mistreated, and you did nothing about it. I will admit that's the easy route to go because probably most people don't want to step in. You could be an upstander and do something to stand up for that person. This is harder. Okay. This is someone who recognizes when something is wrong and they act. They act with logic and compassion, and they do something to make it right. I hope that we have lots of upstanders in this school and in your grade, because you're going to be here for a while. But what exactly should you do? Support that person right now, the person being bullied. I don't want you to go over there to be aggressive and yourself use violence as an answer. Okay, going over and someone called your friend a doo-doo head, and you walk over there and punch them and you say, boom, upstanding. Not what I'm talking about. Okay, maybe just go over there and stand next to him, or say, hey, want to come over here with me? This guy's not being very nice. Let's go over here. Hey, help them walk to class. Say, make sure, hey, you didn't deserve that. Share some kind words. So show who you were with. Who are you with? The bully or the person who's being hurt? Okay, because all of us have been hurt so far. Use your empathy muscles. Go stand by. All right. You can, if you can do it assertively and calm and not make it worse, address it to the bully. Don't cause more conflict. Like I said, you can't escalate things yourself. But the bully is not a monster, most likely. Okay, but be clear. Clear is kind. Clarity is good. Assertiveness is good. Saying, hey, that's not cool. Hey, and there's consequences to bullying in the school. And if you don't keep it up, you're going to face consequences. Okay, from me, from parents, from law enforcement. So if you feel comfortable and you can make sure it's not going to lead to a huge old fight, talk to them. Eventually, involve somebody else. It's great to handle things on your own. We appreciate that. But if you feel like you're not able to do that, come tell us. All right. If you feel like, I supported them, I didn't feel comfortable talking to the bully, but pass it on the road a little bit to your trusted adult, to me, whoever you want. Telling adult is a great way to stop bullying, and it's not tattling. Don't worry about tattling, and don't say the word narc in my school, because this isn't a prison and we don't have to worry about narcs. Hey, this isn't the streets, and then there's nothing going on there. It's just a school. And tattling is just because you want to get that person in trouble. Tattling often involves your little brother or sister. Okay, but supporting and standing up for another student, that's not tattling. And then be there for them later. Okay, later on down the road, remember that small things are the biggest ones. Okay, see them the next day and say, hey, are you feeling all right today after what that kid did to you? And, I've been through some things like that myself. If you're in communication with them, send them a text or Snapchat, and then just ask them how you can help in some way. Okay, sitting by them in cafeteria, inviting them to stuff, always a good plan. So today's 2 lessons. Make sure that when you're trying to synergize and get the best out of a group or a friendship, that you watch out for ignorance, cliques, and what was the third one? Stereotypes, prejudice. Okay. And then if you do see people that are definitely not, bullying is like the antithesis or exact opposite of synergy. Okay. That's definitely not collaboration. You see that going on, be an upstander. Hey, support that person. Don't be a lazy bystander who takes the easy way out. All right. This quote from this handsome gentleman, John F. Kennedy, which I said sort of because whenever I try to source this quote, there's no proof if he said it first or he quoted somebody else. So, but Kennedy helped make it famous. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. And when bad things happen, they tend to not happen in a vacuum. There's people who could, when they feel comfortable or have the opportunity, do something to make that stop. All right. So I hope you're that kind of person that never falls into the barriers that could get in the way of synergy, but you're also an upstander. I'm going to get ready to turn this off, and I hope to see you guys next week. Have a good long weekend. I'm still here. Sorry, I got to turn this off. Now I'm not here anymore, though. Bye.